What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna be doing some exhaust stuff, and you're gonna wanna stick around for this one. Woohoo! All right. Wow, it has been a minute since we have done any car stuff. We've been doing 3D printed stuff, gun stuff, that sort of thing. But yeah, we haven't done any car stuff in a while. One thing we had an issue with last year at some of the races was they had a kind of like a sound ordinance type deal. Basically, it was a sound restriction that your vehicle needed to be fairly quiet, and our vehicle was right on the border of being too loud for that. Well, I don't want any discrepancies for this season. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be building a custom 3-inch turbo back exhaust. The setup we had on there before was definitely not that. We'll just say that. I built the custom 3-inch downpipe that had all sorts of pie cuts in it when I built the turbo kit, but it's not been a complete system. So we're gonna try and make this thing way quieter by building a full exhaust. And when we do that, we're gonna be using a slew of Vibrant performance parts. We have a, let's see here. This is like a 6-inch flex pipe, 3-inch in, 3-inch out. We have, actually I was supposed to get more than just one of these, so I don't know why I only have one, but yeah, I got another one of these coming as well, I think. This is a 3-inch 2-bolt flange. And then I also have a couple gaskets here too, 3-inch 2-bolt gaskets. And then in this box, I will open that up and I'll show you what is in here. So this is what was in that box. This is a Vibrant 3-inch muffler. So it's 3-inch in, 3-inch out. It's not staggered anything, it's just a straight through. Definitely should help quite a bit with the noise. So we are gonna be TIG welding this system more than likely. So some of the stuff I have coming is from this company called Trubens. Trubens is a company that makes, I know they make them for at least Honda stuff. I haven't really browsed what else they make them for, but they make pre-bent exhaust systems where it's kind of like a universal fit. You build it yourself, but the stuff is pretty much bent to be pretty close to your vehicle. So you add your own muffler, flanges, hangers, that sort of thing. They're actually right out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, so not too far from where we live. So that should be here within the next couple days. And then what we need to do is we'll need to get the old Integra up on the lift, and we're gonna start building. And then I can show you guys you know, what we're working with currently, and then what the plan is. And I don't know, hopefully within the next 15-20 minutes here, you'll see a badass custom 3-inch built turbo back exhaust for my DA Integra. Voila. It actually showed up next day, which was pretty dope. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this box cut open and we're gonna see what's inside. So what's in the box is you get some flanges here, which we probably won't be using because we're gonna use some Vibrant 2-bolt ones. Some of these U-bolt clamps, which we also won't be using because we're going to be welding everything. And then you get some hangers and a little bit of hardware too, which is kind of nice. And then as far as the piping goes, everything is pretty close to bent to where it's supposed to be. But I also have this piece of polished stainless left over from when I did the original downpipe. So I'm assuming we're probably gonna have to use some of this as well, because I don't think the stuff that it came with, we're gonna have enough piping. So it's probably a good idea if you do this to make sure you get a little bit extra. And yeah, so this is a polished stainless. The other stuff is unpolished 409 stainless. Okay, update. I was just looking and they accidentally sent me the wrong exhaust. I sent them a photo to Trubens, and they said they accidentally sent me the next generation Integra. So they're gonna make it right. They're gonna send out the right one free of charge. I should see that in the next day or two. So yeah, good thing I caught that before we started cutting and mingling with this one. So yeah, that's awesome. At least they're going to stand behind it. Everybody makes mistakes. I understand. All right, guys, so we ended up getting the rest of the pieces for the exhaust, or should say the correct pieces for it. I started kind of setting things up on the car and tacking stuff where it's going to need to go. I had to relocate a couple hangers and do a few things, but it's coming around pretty nice. I'm going to show you guys a little trick that you can do to make it a lot easier also. Okay, so that's where the old exhaust ends. We'll eventually have to piece that together, but this is where pretty much it needs to be. So I have these pieces tacked. I'm going to cut these shorter once I get them on there, but you can see how I did the hangers on top like that to get it as much ground clearance as we can. Also, I added a hanger here on the back of the car, or I should say in the tunnel area there. We're gonna not use this one. So speaking of this one, this is kind of the trick. If you use zip ties, you can hold up the exhaust where you want it. And that's what I did to be able to do this. Was I used zip ties and basically just wrapped them around it and hung it where I wanted it to be. It's nice. You can just, you know, if you need it pulled to the left, you run it over here, tighten it this way, pull it that way, whatever you need to do. Zip ties work pretty good for that. So that's kind of a neat little trick. Currently I'm working on what I want to do here. I'm definitely not going to use that hanger. It's not going to work. It's too tight right there. I might have to cut this hanger off. And I'll just basically relocate it, but with the one off to the left here, shouldn't need to worry about that anyways. Also gonna have to do something with this for the muffler area. I'm probably gonna have to shorten this up here, and I may have to shorten this up here also to suck it in more, because it's too far to the back. The muffler is gonna be hanging way out where I don't want it, and I want to be able to utilize this hanger over here. So for me to be able to do that, I need to suck everything forward. So we're currently just tacking everything with that, and then we're going to go through at the end and TIG weld everything. But it works pretty good. Got this kind of spaced up so I can see where I want it. These are some goofy LED lights that we threw on here for a car meet last year. Those are just temporary. So, but yeah, it's coming along so far. Kind of get a view of where it's at. It's tucked up pretty nice with a 3-inch. So being that I don't have a fuel tank in here, that also makes it pretty simple too, easy to work around, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's coming along pretty good. All right, so we got most of it all tacked up there. It's getting pretty close to where it needs to be. All I really need to do now is drop it down and then TIG weld everything. So I added a flange setup here. This was going to be all one solid piece, but there's no way you'd ever be able to take the exhaust off if you welded it or use the clamps that they supply there. So we cut it off here, shortened this up slightly, added the flange, yeah, it works pretty good. I will end up having to extend this out the back more than likely. I have it angled up so it's going with the angle of the bumper. So officially now working on the finishing stages of the flex pipe to the rest of the exhaust. So this will basically bolt on, and this is literally the missing link to connect the down pipe and the mid pipe. That's the section that is missing so far. We had to kind of go down. It's pointing like this. We had to go up, down, and then turn to be able to connect it because it's not directly across from one another. Before I bolt and weld that new piece on, we are going to start it so you can hear the difference. But I'm getting everything fabbed up. I do have to tack weld and weld the piece and stuff like that. But before I install it, you will get to hear it. You'll hear the difference between this and the full exhaust. All right, guys. So we're gonna do the sound test right now. We have the little turn down removed, so I don't have that on there. It shouldn't really affect the sound at all, really, I don't think. So we're going to try it with just the downpipe, like how I had been running it. And then we're going to install the test pipe, we'll call it, in between. And then we'll also try that. I'm going to do an interior and an exterior and a startup. That way you guys can kind of hear the difference between a B series open turbo, or I should say downpipe, open downpipe versus a full 3-inch turbo back exhaust. All right, now we're gonna do the interior. That loud buzzing noise is my fuel pump. Super loud, especially in that fuel cell. Here we go. Woo. Okay, so we got the final piece. I'm gonna put that up in there, tack her on, then I gotta drop the exhaust down so I can weld this piece in once I have it bolted up. And then we're gonna fire her up. All right, the moment you have all been waiting for. We got the exhaust on, and we are gonna start it up, rev it up, see what she sounds like. Woo, baby. She's gonna be probably a lot quieter, that's for sure. Wow, that is super quiet. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get in the interior and kind of see how that sounds. I'm sure it's gonna be crazy quiet compared to before. So as you can see, the exhaust definitely made a huge difference. Even though it's a straight through muffler with no baffling in it, it does make a big difference. I would say it probably cut like 30 decibels or 40 decibels it probably cut off of it. So it made a big difference. Definitely sounds a little bit more throaty, not as poppy. That should definitely make us legal for pretty much any race that has sound restrictions. So that's basically what we wanted this setup for, was for that exact reason. And it honestly kind of sucked, like sitting and staging with it idling and that vibration underneath you the whole time just idling, and the exhaust fumes that were coming inside kind of really sucked. So having it go all the way out the back, whew, it's gonna be nice. I'm super excited to bring you guys more content this spring and summer. I need to get back on video making. So if there's anything you guys want to see, if you want me to review anything on the car, do certain things, let me know. Drop a comment down below. And if you could, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you always get notified when we put out a new video. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Woohoo!